At this point, let's turn our eyes now to Kamala Harris, and I want us to bring in our next guest on how having a black woman vice president has affected the outcome of this particular voting or election. Director of Programs for the African American Center for Global Politics, Alethea Bonello, joining us now on the line. Alethea, good evening, and thank you very much for joining us tonight here on Newzroom Afrika. So let's talk then about how the black woman vote actually showed up at these elections. We know that there was some level of disappointment with the suburban white woman voter as far as Donald Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic. But did the black woman vote show up just purely because Kamala Harris is there as vice president?
Well, as a matter of fact, black women voters show up each and every time. They have even influenced the selection of Joe Biden having Kamala Harris as his running mate. But certainly we were more energized as a fellow Jamaican American and a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. That really energized what we call the Divine Nine, the other black sororities and fraternities in America, to mobilize, organize, and get people to register to vote and get out to the vote as well. It, in fact, was a critical, energizing opportunity for the Biden-Harris ticket.
Now, Joe Biden does win. What does he need to do particularly to, I suppose, decalibrate or recalibrate his party to be able to address those issues that are particularly raised by black women voters?
Well, as we said, black women voters are very consistent and turn out to vote. In order for us to feel that we have done our part, and he must be able to share with us that he will, in fact, look at the issues of police brutality, of the discrimination that we see, the systemic racism in America that does, in fact, affect blacks, black women and men, certainly. And he, not only for black women, but he has to overcome, because we see that he's underperforming in cities like Philadelphia that is largely African-American, but African-American men did not vote for him because of his past, his 47 years, the criminal justice bill, and being linked to that, and other issues as how he perceived African Americans in the past. So he does have much to overcome in order for us not only to support him now, but to continue to support him and hold him accountable.
He seems to have changed his position, though, during this particular campaign, as far as the tough stance that you're mentioning in his fight against crime. For example, his position on reducing the terms of incarceration, eliminating some of the mandatory minimum sentences, the end to the death penalty. He seemed to have come around on those particular issues. It was not enough, though, to get that engagement that he wanted from the black voter.
Exactly. And in addition, not only to Vice President Joe Biden, but also Kamala Harris's past practices as a local district attorney and the state attorney general. In spite of that, though, African Americans in large part still voted for the Democratic ticket, still voted for Biden and Harris, because they see that they are the ones that can make the change that needs to be seen here in America today.
Ultimately, when you look at the kind of role that Kamala Harris can play, what are your expectations of what she can deliver? You know, we've seen her speak about issues that would be important to women in particular, such as the position on abortion and in taxpayer-funded abortions, which are completely opposed by somebody like the incumbent Donald Trump.
Indeed, I believe that she brings the perspective not only of a woman, but of a black woman and of an Indian woman as well. A person who has fought hard, has made great inroads in her personal trajectory and professional trajectory, but also can speak to those persons that she has represented in California and be able to articulate what it does, in fact, mean to be a woman in one of the highest positions in the federal government, to be able to enact change, influence legislation as she's done as a senator, but really move the needle both in the House and the Senate and in the executive branch.